What's going on, Knucklehead? She-Cam Gaming here, another LEGO Legacy Heroes Unboxed video for you. And today, Xpurge is having a day because this is the Admiral Nonsuch buff. Now, unlike Lee, I actually kind of like the buff they did for Nonsuch. I think they made him stronger, which he needed to be a little bit stronger. I always thought he was probably the best Imperial next to Valiant. Valiant's probably still the best one. Or at least currently, but I think this makes him one of the better ones, and it kind of makes him do what he always should have been doing, which is be strong, right? He's the Admiral. He's the bad guy. He needs to be doing stuff and being strong. So let's get into it and see what they buffed up on my boy, the Nonsuch here. So his basic, it now deals 110% damage and 30% bonus damage for each buff on the target with no limit. So the more buffs, the more damage he can do. It used to be 100% damage with 20%. This is a lot of damage that he can do on his basic, right? So they want, the Imperials, I think what they're going for is cleansing debuffs, which again, Lee doesn't really do that well, even with the buff, but also punishing foes for using buffs. There's also now an 85% chance to inflict speed down, even though it's just speed down 1 on a target for 2 turns. Speed down is a great debuff, and he's putting it out on his basic. So, I mean, again, and an 85% chance, that's just a good basic. That's a really good basic. The ship shape, this is his big anchor hit, 130% damage to a target foe. Clears 1 debuff from Admiral Nonsuch, that's nice, you know, it doesn't hurt. And then there's a 50% chance to stun the target and a 50% chance to inflict clumsy. So you could put both on them, you could get 1 on them. Either way, those are great debuffs, right? This is a nice addition, and it makes that big anchor actually a lot better, right? And now it's like I really want to use this ability, but we're not done yet. The special 2, the Nowhere to Run. I always liked this ability because it was a good stealth busting ability, but man, it's even better now. Deals 50% damage to all foes, 50% bonus damage if they're in stealth. So take that, Ninjago. You're getting AoE for 100% damage from Nonsuch. All enemies are then inflicted with stacks of 2 to 3 stacks of damage over time for 2 turns, and debilitate on enemies with stealth. Now, this could be really good. The AoE debilitate, 100% damage, especially against like Ninjago teams. This could be really good if one of the new Imperials also has an AoE, right? Because then you're putting debilitate and then proccing them with the next AoE. If there's no, because currently Imperials have no AoEs except this. If there's no AoEs, this is really not that great on an Imperial team. But if you're running a team that's AoE heavy and you're putting Nonsuch on it, which a lot of people do use Nonsuch for those stealth busting AoE teams, he's pretty good, right? This is not a bad ability. Then his passive got a huge buff, right? 50% chance to gain debuff immunity for 1 turn at the end of each turn. So every turn he's got a 50% chance to just have debuff immunity, which is just simply fantastic. But then there's more. On any ally, the English here. On any ally, when any ally takes damage, a random Imperial ally makes a bonus attack to a random enemy for 50% of the damage. At the start of the turn, Admiral Nonsuch has a chance to gain 35% chance to gain dodgy, 35% chance to gain prepared, 20% chance to gain hardy. So at the end of his turn, he can gain debuff immunity. At the start of his turn, he can gain dodgy, prepared, and hardy. Any one of them, he can gain all 3 of them. He's got a separate person. That's a nice buff. That's really, really nice, right? And there's also this weird thing that anytime when an ally takes damage, anytime someone takes damage, a random Imperial ally makes a bonus attack. So, from my understanding, anytime someone takes damage, there'll be a random bonus attack on a random enemy. So they've now got a little bit of Buccaneers things going on where they're just firing off a bunch of bonus attacks. Which again, if the 2 new Imperials are good, this could be a really, really good thing. So I think Nonsuch obviously is going to be a cornerstone and he's going to be important on the Imperial team. But I think Lee just kind of sucks. So I don't know how good the Imperials are going to be, but they did change his ultimate a little bit. And there's some things I like about it, some things I don't. So it's still 100% heal to himself, which I do like. And now it AoE heals. All other allies heal for 10%, so that's nice. Nonsuch also gets buffs. Attack up 2, speed up 2, defense up 2, skill up 2, and crit up 2 for 2 turns. So he kind of like steroids himself. And all allies are... This I don't like. All allies are inflicted with dodge down and crit chance down for 2 turns. All Imperial allies do bonus attacks to a random foe for 60% of their damage. So it calls for a mass assist, random assist, which is nice. But the debuffs kind of stink. Now, the devs were like, well, we want abilities to have drawbacks, and you know, I get that. But it's like, I don't know, especially with an ultimate having a drawback, it's like, ugh, yuck, right? That kind of stinks. And they did say, well, you know, they're good at clearing debuffs. Yeah, maybe if you made Lee better at clearing debuffs than she currently is. Right now, she's not any better at clearing debuffs, and she's not even really that great at it currently. And it still is going to inflict buff immunity on all foes for 2 turns, which is great. Problem is, this ultimate takes a little bit of time to get to. It's not like a Gen's ultimate where like you have it turn 2 or 3, or an Egon ultimate. You know, this is a little bit of a longer wait. Nonsuch is not the fastest character in the game. So, again, I think the Nonsuch rework or the Nonsuch buff is solid, whereas I think the Lee one is just it's meh. It's not. That didn't make her worse, but I don't think it made her that much better. Again, we don't know what Imperials are going to be like until we see the 2 new figures. Now, I don't know if Valiant or Gov or LaCoy are getting any type of buff. They might not. I don't think Valiant and Gov really need anything. I think the set needs to be completely rehauled, and I think that's really what we were talking about in the chat is the content creator chat, is that the set needs to have a rehaul if the Imperials are going to have a fighting chance. But I do like a lot of the stuff Nonsuch is bringing in this kit. So yeah, I'm cool with this rework. Well, that's pretty much all I got for you, Knuckleheads. Please remember to smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding that little bell for some notifications, and as always, remember to knuckle up. I'm telling you we got this far, 'cause the